Hey guys, it's the Masked Saiyan, and finally, we got the newest Ichiban Kuji set, Temple Above the Clouds. And just in time, because I was waiting so long and it just was taking forever. And even the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie just came out, and it's just so much is going on. But finally, let's get right into the details of each of these figures, shall we? Woo! Alright guys, let's start off with prize A. And this is Karin with Goku. But for this video, let's just call Karin Corin, his dub name. And this is actually a Master Release Plus. Why? Because there's two figures in one. So that's great, because they're too little to be by themselves, honestly. So let's take a look at Karin or Corin. So yeah, I had to put each of these whiskers individually into these little holes, and that was kind of a pain, but it got in and it's staying in pretty well. So, and they're pretty sharp too, so you gotta watch out for it. But he looks cool. I really like him a lot. Like the fur texture and sculpt is wonderful. He actually looks furry, you know. His staff is really well done, and of course this is just removable, but you can just hang it on there. So that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah, the fur texture all throughout just looks really good. Look at his paw right here and his tail. Corin came whole, including his staff. It's part of him. It's not like it was detachable or anything. It was just this part, and the whiskers and just his whiskers are what we needed to add on. So we finally have a Corin, and he looks great paired up. And this is actually adapted from a manga panel, so that's why we have a Goku like this. I mean, this is really cool with his power pole, his tail, battle damage on his gi. He looks really cool. Look at that. You know, as he starts rotating, he kind of looks funny a little bit, just a tad bit, because it was sculpted as supposed to be perfect this way, at this angle, because that's how the manga panel looked. But you know, once it's 3D and you start rotating it, you could start seeing, you know, it doesn't look as good. It comes with the support on top of his foot, because he's supposed to be displayed looking from behind. So, anywho, yeah, it looks good. I mean, even the nipple placement is perfect on this one. And his belt, he looks all around awesome. I like that one. And what we're gonna do is compare this Goku with all the other Orange Gi Kid Goku stuff we've gotten in the market so far. So firstly, we will go ahead and compare him to this one. And honestly, okay, let's take a look. Put Corin to the side for now. So yeah, that's nice. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see here. This little support stand came off. You know, he pairs well, because he looks like if this one stood up, he'll be the same height as this one. So the scaling is really well done. I mean, this power pole holder is a little bit thinner than that one. but that's fine. They're pretty similar. Cool. All right, and then we also have the other Kid Goku on the Nimbus Cloud. And really this Kuji set, all the characters were a tad bit on the bigger side. You know, they're a lot rounder, more plump, just more kid friendly, I guess. Just like bigger heads too. But I really like that Kuji set. It just doesn't really scale well with the rest of the Master Lease Kujis. But yeah, these are all the orange Kid Gokus we have now. Look how big his head is compared to them. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, so they're all facing from the back. And you know, I decided this would be a good opportunity to finally pair a Kuji set with one of my favorites of all time, the Extreme Saiyan set. And I'll go ahead and put the last one prize mastered, actually not mastered, but Ultra Instinct Omen or Sign Goku right here. Oh shoot, I guess he's too tall. He's too tall to get in frame, so let me actually raise this up just a tad bit. Ooh. There we go. All right, so that is how I would love to display it. Look how awesome that is. Let's move Corin out of the way too. Yeah, look at that. So it's just like this little innocent boy becomes godlike, basically. So that's really awesome. Just like that. That's a great display, I have to say. All right, so, okay, let's go on. Let's move on to prize B. And prize B is, all right, and so prize B is Kami-sama. Look at that. So this is the pure-hearted version or half of the whole being that also split into two, one being Kami and the other being the last one prize that we'll visit later. So look at that. So this one, his staff is removable. So, you know, there we go. It came like that, and you just stick that staff in until it is properly placed and hitting the ground, and it's pretty stable. He has a little foot support right here, the ankle support. But yeah, let's take a look. He looks great too. I mean, this is very well detailed, very heavy too, very high quality. Yeah. Look at the detail of his arm and his hand. Ooh, wow. A lot of wrinkles on his skin and his head. He came whole. So, I mean, there would be no way to attach any part of him. Wow, look at that. And, you know, we will get into more comparisons a little later once I bring out the last one prize. So that's a little glimpse of Kami, and we'll revisit him. So let's do prize C. So prize C is one that we've been waiting for, and that's Yajirobe. You know, he's a little slept on. Look at that. He's like just a chunky guy with his sandals. Oh wow, look at all the details on his clothes. And his awesome sword. Yeah, he was a cool character in Dragon Ball, and he stayed looking like this even in Dragon Ball Z, at least in the earlier versions. He never really changed. He never got any taller than when we first met him in Dragon Ball. And you know what? I want to. Yeah, so he's just like a nice addition to this Kuji set because, you know, he always stays in Corin's temple and uses his senzu beans. It would have been really awesome if we had like a pot of senzu beans too, actually. But oh well. But you know what? I think Yajirobe has done one of the most significant, you know, he was part of one of the biggest events in Dragon Ball Z, early Dragon Ball Z, and that's when he chopped off Great Ape or Ozaru Vegeta's tail when Goku was facing him in Kaioken. So that is why I brought out these guys. And although, you know, of course they don't scale, but this is a definite awesome display. And yeah, so like let's see here. Great Ape Vegeta was dominating, and Yajirobe whipped out his sword and sliced off his tail, which obviously prompted Vegeta, to go back into his more humanoid form. And you know what? I don't want to break this. I haven't ever detached this since attaching it when I first got it. But there we go. And just like that, Yajirobe has Vegeta's tail once more. And Goku is saved thanks to Yajirobe. Yeah, so there we go. That's a pretty cool display too. And that's prize C. And so let's move on. We'll go on to prize D. And prize D is a new type of Masterlies that's being introduced, and it's called Master Live. It's first of its kind, or so it's Master E Live. It's spelled pretty weird, so I'll just say that Master E Live, or maybe it's Master Relive. Yeah, maybe that's what it's pronounced as, Master Relive. It's reliving a moment in the series. So look at that. So it came into pieces like the anime or in the manga. It was, you know, this is when they're creating Shenron once again, because Demon King Piccolo killed Shenron after making his wish to be younger. And so Mr. Popo, which of course there was a little controversy on why he wasn't included in this set when he should have been, he basically glued up this little model, this little doll of Shenron. And I apologize for this circle light. Let me go ahead and there. And it's definitely a pretty cool piece, if I do say so myself. honestly, it was really hard to put them together, and there's 3 like pegs on this base, and this base feels really cheap. Honestly, it's like just cheap plastic, but the base has 3 pegs that you put underneath each foot and towards the back as well, and it was really hard to put it on, connected together. And the whiskers also were they needed to be attached to the head, and that was also, I mean, so you can actually take this part off, and so yeah, these whiskers were really hard to attach. They're not very well connected. It's like, I mean, all the Shenrons, when you have to attach the whiskers, it's kind of hard to put it on. They're not like perfectly connected. You just like stick it in that little hole and hope for the best that it doesn't fall off. But yeah, I mean, this is it. And here's the Bandai trademark. So yeah, there we go. Master Relive. It's a pretty decent size. I mean, if you look at, you know, a figure right next to it, it's pretty big. So, all right. I mean, it's kind of like life size, I guess you can say. All right. Well, anyways, now let's go on to the last one prize. And this is awesome. And we're going to go ahead and turn the circle light back on. And we got now here Demon King Piccolo on his throne. Piccolo Daimao. And he comes off it. So let's take a look at him. Ooh, man, he got that little sinister smile. Great detail. His cape. Yeah, that looks cool. And then let's take a look at his seat. The skulls. It's kind of hollow, but it's kind of heavy too. So, I mean, it's good material. Skull on the back. You know, they have a Rise version of this that's super expensive. And I know this one, at least the Japanese one, last one prize, is pretty expensive. I did see actually on Best Buy, there is a pre-order for the overseas version, which is amazing that they're going to release this overseas for only $80. So you guys should hop on that. But yeah, if you're not getting the Kuji. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this last one prize. So now let's go ahead and bring back out his good half. So this is the evil half and the pure-hearted half. And clearly they are reusing the head, but they definitely changed everything else up. I mean, they reused the head for the most part, but as you can see, he's smiling here and he's not over here. So they changed up the mouth and everything else is different. So it's like a completely different figure altogether. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring out the other version of Demon King Piccolo. So we'll go ahead and put him right in the middle because he's the coolest. And this is when he wished himself younger, so he's more powerful and lively. And of course, you can't forget, so here, let's see. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, we're gonna have to somehow get it all together so that we can get every OG Dragon Ball Piccolo in the frame. So yeah, look at that. Man, they did an excellent job with Piccolo. Awesome. Yeah, there we go. I like that. So maybe we can put him just like that. And there you have it, folks. All the OG Dragon Ball Piccolo figures we have. Master release Ichiban Kuji. And they're all going to be able to be released Ichiban show as well eventually. So look out for that. Thank you so much for your patience, you guys. I really appreciate your support. And, I'm actually not a big fan of the next Ichiban Kuji sets that are coming out. They're not master release, and I'm really just into master release at this point. So you probably won't be hearing back from the Masked Saiyan until the Dragon Ball Daima Kuji set comes out, which is pretty much at the end of the year. So, if I get a random new figure that I don't have in my collection, I'll definitely review that. But other than that, don't be surprised if you don't hear from me for a couple months. I apologize for that. I always answer your questions though, so feel free to ask away. And once again, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys in the next one.